Through the prayers of our Holy Father, so Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us. Amen. Good evening for those new here. My name is Father Joseph Swaden. I've worked in Orthodox apologetics since 1998 and the founder of NFTU, True Orthodox and Ecumenical News, since 2004. We've been in the apologetic space on Facebook since 2016, on YouTube since 2018, and on X since last week. And if you appreciate what we do here, please like and subscribe. Today we do our live Q&A session where you can get your questions answered live about Orthodoxy, uh, questions about ecumenism, member requested video reviews. You just want to challenge a priest. So let's get started. And as always, if you want to jump on stream to ask a question or make a comment, just click the link in the top of the chat. I'll be taking super chats from the YouTube chat. If you want your question or comment without super chatting, I'll answer it, but you might miss it if I don't put it up. So let's see here. Also, I should mention this is what we're going to call, we're going to do this every week. We call this cafe time, just in case you're trying to get registered at the ultra exclusive to comment at frosinoscafe.com. Let us know in the comments. So let's get started and we'll start reading comments immediately, and let's see what we got. So Watsa says, waiting, Father. Sorry for the long wait. We usually open up 15 minutes early. Dead to Compromise says, the tune strikes fear in the heart of those who can do better than block, no better than block us. Cool. Absolutely true. For those wondering about the music, it is written by our own Atomic Lead. And you can look that up there. John Taylor Harden with a member chat. If you have a member chat, it pops up live on the screen. Father bless, God bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Matsush Stephanie Dobas asks, Father bless, God bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Okay, so let's get started. I'm sure a number of you have been wondering why we didn't have a Tuesday or Thursday show. It was our new experiment. We were 3 weeks into it. I ran into a bunch of emergencies, church and family. Actually, pretty traumatic. I've spent a lot of time and kind of just been really upset over it. It's made me really sick. And today, it all culminated with me trying to go get gas, and the passenger side control arm in the front just decided to say goodbye to my wheel. And so basically, that took an hour, pretty stressful hour of being in the sun to get the car over to the mechanic rather than the impound, because very polite police officers watching informed me if I left that car was going to the impound. So uh, it didn't, thank God. It went to the mechanic. Anyway, so that's been my week, and part of the reason I apologize why I wasn't able to do Tuesday, Thursday shows. I'm gonna start thinking of a different weekday format. MC Chili asked, "Did the wheel fall off?" No, the wheel it kind of went clunk and like bent like that. So it didn't fall off, but they couldn't actually get it on the truck without putting these like little like bumper pads or something underneath the wheel, so it would just slide because it was probably about to fall off. But yeah, it detached. So I don't know how bad that's gonna be. But for those wondering, I have put a little bit of an extra high goal this week. As you can see, it is for 400 because normally we do 200 for everyday living, but I have no idea how much this is going to cost, but I know 200 will at least grease the mechanic's palm. So there's the goal. As always, that's just if you can help keep the lights on. So what is the first? Angle says, greetings from Belgium. I don't know how to do super chats on Twitter, and I don't know if they appear. Like, where is this? Okay, since it is a Twitter chat, I'll put it up here because an X chat because we are new to the X, and so yes, we are encouraging that. And I don't know how to do super chats on X yet, so that's gonna have to wait. So yeah, it's been kind of a crazy week. We did get the sink for the bathroom, so Matush can put it together. So then that is hopefully the whatever, it's not grout, the thing that holds silicone caulk that is around it should be dry by tomorrow, so we can install it, and we'll have, you know, we'll have a bathroom sink and without a car. We'll see how this goes. I have no idea. It's Sunday, so obviously I'm not going to get a quote from the mechanic who isn't there till tomorrow morning. Um, it's just been a week. It's just been a week. Which, don't get me wrong, I've gone from sad to angry to etc. I'm still willing to fight anyone on the internet and tell them the truth about orthodoxy. So if there's any brave souls who want to ask questions, well, anyone can ask a question. You don't have to be a brave soul, but if you want to go for a big challenge, the link is at the top of the chat on YouTube. I did put it in the chat on X, but it disappeared. So I guess I could try to put it in again. Give me a second. Let me see here. Yeah, you see, I did put it in on X, but I can't see it. So maybe I have to type it in again. Hold on. See if that works. Okay, so anyone can call in live using the link at the top of the YouTube chat, at the Twitter chat. I have put it in the Odyssey. These are basically going to be the three platforms that I'm going to be using from here on in. Facebook, I mean, everyone loves it, but I get very little engagement live on streams. Kick, same thing, nothing. So, Odyssey, I get, small results, and I get big results here on YouTube and X, and I want to reach the most number of people. And the only way to upgrade that to more platforms is to pay a whole lot more money, which I am not ready to do. It's a lot of money. All right, let's see. What else we got? Watson says, Father, I'm from India. Your channel's really, really helpful. Well, I hope so, and I hope you can, slowly begin to, develop a mission of some sort, or perhaps a true Orthodox mission. And that's going to be our topic very soon. And let's see, Black White gives a Orthodox cross. Thank you very much. We love those. So let's see what here's what I was gonna talk about first. I was going to. I got a message. Um, basically, okay, basically it was about maps, and so uh, there's two maps. Apparently, there is another map. There's problems with each, so we're gonna get through. We're gonna get through these. These are kind of amazing in terms of just when people say things like, "Oh, there's no true Orthodox." Okay, well, here's a map. We're dealing with two maps with totally different subject, groups on them. So let's share that. So give me a second. So we're gonna try the big main map. So as you can see, there are no true Orthodox anywhere. We go across the pond. Yep, yep. I mean, these little dots indicate, parishes and missions, but obviously there are some people who like to lie and say there are no true Orthodox anywhere. Now, granted, this map is a very good map. This contains mostly let's see, this has Roak, Rokana, Artok, TOCR. So it seems to be very Russian based. So Metropolitan Gafangal, Rokor A, the Genuine Orthodox Church under Archbishop Kalinikos of Athens, Genuine Orthodox Church under Archbishop Makarios of Athens, Romanian Orthodox churches, the BOSVR, the Old Calendars Orthodox Church of Bulgaria, and some significant non-commemorators. So this is already a really big map. Now, why am I concerned? Because already on this map, I saw a bit of a problem. And that is that both, let me see here, Asia is actually not totally represented. Okay, they do have some Indonesia, Indonesia stuff here. Let me just see here. So they do have the Indonesia stuff, so that's good. They don't have the Philippines listed yet, and I believe that is under Indonesia, so that has to be taken care of. And then if we go to the other map, it's considerably smaller, but it covers. Let me see here. This covers Rossi, the Avlona Synod. Here's a problem here. This Palestinian Orthodox Church has never been part of the Avlona Synod. He tried to scam his way in. They don't recognize him at all, but he keeps saying he's part of our churches and our communion. He is not. Ramsey Musalem is not part of the church. He is a scammer. Holy Orthodox Church in North America and the Autonomous Orthodox Metropolitan. So this has a few more. Now, interestingly, we are in communion with the Russian Church with Metropolitan Seraphim, but he's on the other map. So it's a little confusing, but the whole point is, in the grand scheme of things, it's really goofy to say that there are no true Orthodox throughout the world. By the way, I will put both of these links for these maps on the stream. So give me a moment. I'm doing that right now. So the first map, which is the big map, and then the second map, which is the smaller map. If somebody can figure out how to combine the maps, because I don't even see any listing Matthewites. So we're still, like, even if we combine these two maps, we would have covered about 70% of true Orthodoxy. But that's still way better. That's still way better than having nothing. So these two true Orthodox maps will, yeah. And let me see here. Let's see. John MC, Jay Dyer, from his extensive travels in USA, says, matter of factly, there's just one small chapel in the outback in Florida. Ortho Pirate with a member chat says, can't confirm. I believe the joke of that is that Ortho Pirate lives in Florida. So, however, there are other true Orthodox churches in Florida, but I believe, many years, I believe you're starting a mission. So, God willing, that works okay. And so, yeah, this is great. We're seeing lots of positive things, and I hope that we keep seeing the growth. I think we will. Yeah, Boisel Basil says map is incomplete. Yeah, there's two maps. You need to put them together, and yes, they are still incomplete because they pretty much lack Matthewite parishes. We need to include those, and they pretty much lack. I think they lack alternate like bishops. Like for example, there are GOC bishops in Georgia that, or GOC clergy in Georgia. Actually, I don't know if they have any bishops. But I do know that our synod has a bishop in Georgia. The Russians have a synod bishop in Georgia, etc. So there's like we're literally crawling out of the rubble of 100 years of being mistreated and persecuted in many countries by the ecumenists, by the modernists, by the surgeonists. So I'm saying that if we got a vastly improved map for the world, this is pretty good progress. I'm going to put the other one on because I like it too. So, we'll do that. So here, so there you can see Orthodox. You can get a pretty good glimpse that Orthodoxy is actually pretty well represented on all the continents, with the exception of Antarctica. First Down says, hello, Father. I'm joining you tonight. God bless you. God bless you, First Down. It's Chino. Hey there, Chino. How's it going? So we've got, we've got some interesting things to talk about there. So we've got the map. People have questions about different groups, jurisdictions. I don't know what just happened. I heard a bing. Bings are interesting. Let me see here. Okay, thank you. First donation of the night, everyone. Thank you so much. That's from JT, JH. One moment. Let's see here if I can update that, and we will put it on the screen. So, let's do that. And that was actually a Cash App for 20. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, JH. Again, if you want me to say your name, I will. It is, Watson says it's very sad. India has no GOC parishes. Well, the good news is we can help you start one. The key is what you have to do is you have to get in touch with the local bishop. In this case, most likely the local bishop would be Indonesia, even though that's far. He's the closest bishop regionally to you. and you want to seek his guidance and follow his instructions on how to slowly build a mission. And that means you're going to have to be received, obviously, into true orthodoxy. John MC says, true orthodoxy has been increasingly slowly but surely over the past 25 years as more and more people realize the true state of the things in the Fanar MP in America. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ortho Just says, Holy Ascension Greek Orthodox Church in Winnipeg was burnt down 2 years ago. Lord have mercy. We just received their bells. Wow. I'm sorry to you. First down, Father, I wanted to say hi and thank you. I will talk to you again soon. No problem, Chino. First down, you're always welcome. So, thank you. All right, so let's see here. So to answer that question, what do you do when there's no GOC parish in your area? We get this question a lot. I'm probably going to clip this. I really should. But what you need to do is you need to get in touch with a priest or bishop willing to help you. Dios te bendiga. Igual, igual. And so the point is, once you find that, then what you're going to need to do is, under that priest or bishop's guidance, you're going to start to need to learn the liturgical services of the church. You have to get baptized. Not all the services. You have to learn how to say typica. So you're praying with the church every Sunday. Without, obviously, if you don't have a nearby parish, you can still say the prayers and read the readings of the church. So you're still present. Let me see here. Polazajnik, okay, is it Polazajnik or Polazajnik? Because the J, tricky stuff with Latin. There is not on a map monastery of St. John the Latter of Artak near town Thebes in Greece, where is Bishop Philaretos of Artak, and the parish of St. Michael in Guildford of Artak. Well, let's take a look, because I believe that Artak here is, it's listed here. Looking, St. Michael's Orthodox Parish. Yeah, St. Michael's Guildford is listed on the large map, the one that's called Locations. And what was the other one you said? Give me a second. That was Thebes in Greece. The St. John of the Ladder. Okay, let's see. St. John of Kronstadt. Okay, so what color is Artak? Artak is green. So let's go to Greece. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, Greece is pretty covered. Oh boy. No, wait. Monastery of St. John of the Ladder. It is there. It is there. So both of these are located on the Locations of True Orthodox map, which is the first one I sent. So they're there. Okay, pretty cool. So yeah, we're getting mapping. We're getting mapping, guys. This is something new and exciting, and there's still a lot more we need to do. So let's keep this going. I know that I believe I don't know if the map maker wants to make himself public. Hopefully, I'll talk to him, and if he does, then you can help collaborate. If there's missing parishes and stuff, we'll work on it. More people, the more the merrier. We have a GOC wiki that almost nobody works on. I'd love to make that work. But we also have the cafe, which is kind of its own super powered resource. And again, if you're trying to get registered on thefirsofuscafe.com, let us know in the comments. And I personally, because I help administrate, will find your account and activate it. Let's see. Yeah, the Winnipeg one can be removed now. Etna is also missing the convent. Okay. I'm gonna talk to. I'll bring it up. Hold on. I have some comments. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna note this. Winnipeg. We're down. Etna convent missing. Okay. Live stream. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, the best thing to do is volunteer. So I'm gonna ask if the map master would like assistance with this stuff, and that way it'll be taken care of. Okay. So let's scroll out. see. Just put it in the water. Okay, so let's take a look here. That's a compromise says Winnipeg Church was on fire multiple times. Wild. Wow, that's actually horrifying. Black White says, was the anathema between Orthodox and Catholics lifted in 1965 or not? It was in fact lifted. There is an argument as to whether it was ceremonial or not, but it was definitely lifted. More importantly, it is the basis for why they commemorate each other. They commemorate the Pope as the head of the church in the diptychs on certain feasts. So that's the justification for it. From their understanding and publications, since 1965, they have said the anathemas, they've said, we still do not have intercommunion and we have problems, but the anathemas were lifted. Ortho just says, question, why is St. Herman's Monastery on there and the cathedral in San Francisco? I don't know. Let me take a look. Let's get to the thing. Okay, St. Herman of Aladdin. This is Serbian. This should be removed. Hold on. I'm gonna just note that. Hold on. Allow me to note. Okay, user comment. Cathedral. And F included. It's key and should simply be noted as place of pilgrimage. Also, St. Herman Monastery there. Which is SP. I'm suspecting that the real reason that those two are there is because they're places of pilgrimage for St. John of Shanghai and St. Seraphim Rose. That's what I'm suspecting. But let's continue. Okay. Thank you, Father Pachomius, for keeping the lights on, and many years for your impending ordination. To the priesthood, Father bless. I just really would like to say it would be really nice if true Orthodox would stop calling each other schismatic or heretics when all that separates us is political foolishness from the 80s, at least for the majority of us. It's very disheartening. Yeah, no, I believe it and I understand it. And I've gone through it for 20 years and longer actually since it's you have to understand that while in many cases it comes from distrust and it comes from defensiveness, trust me, I can't stress this enough that people saying that to you have probably been on the receiving end of it themselves. It's hard to explain, but the best way to put it is that trauma as a result of even ecclesiastical violence, even at the verbal level, is something that we all have to deal with. I remember going through the things I went through at the end of my time in Art Talk, in ROAC, excuse me, and going to the visiting the Abbey. And the first thing that Father Deacon Vincent said, and it stuck to me, was he said, you're gonna need a real thick skin to survive here. And I was blown away because I had already gone through some pretty unhappy stuff. But yeah, I agree. It would be good. Is it realistic? No, because people are just still getting out of living in defense mode for so long. But thank you for the comment. I agree with the sentiment, absolutely. But all I can say is be patient with people, so that they learn to be patient with you. But yeah, you said not that you've done this, Father Joseph, but I've been dealing with it more than usual lately on social media, and it's just awful. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, and plus you're receiving a great blessing and being elevated. to the priesthood. Um, that's what the devil does. Whenever good things happen, um, for the church, the demons go right after people that they feel are responsible, etc. It's that it's a war it's a spiritual war that's being waged between those on the side of good and those on the side of evil, and nothing upsets the demons more than a new priest. So let's see here. Ortho Joe says, yeah, that could be right. Saint Sarah from Rose says the same thing. Ortho Joe says, man, we got to get more churches in the middle. Yeah, we kind of do, because the middle is very blank. But that brings me to another topic. And that topic is very simply, I have been getting a few requests. I would say probably, I would under 10, but still, it was no small number of people wondering about the state of Colorado. The state of Colorado, as I have mentioned before, is an interesting ecosystem. You have World Orthodox, who are kind of in different parts, Greek Archdiocese and Roquefort MP. You have Gregory of Colorado, who is unfortunately he's basically he's like separated from all of true Orthodoxy, declares himself the only bishop on earth, and he's kind of a cult leader. So it's an ecosystem. What happens is people go to World Orthodoxy, realize it's wrong. The priest says, "Oh, you want to go to the true Orthodox guy?" And they point to Gregory of Denver, who psychologically turns them into mashed potatoes and most likely makes them either leave Orthodoxy or run screaming back to World Orthodoxy. This has been the situation now for the better part of 30 years, 40 years. I mean, Saint Seraphim Rose himself talked about that issue. Nobody's been able to organize something in Colorado. Well, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I did that last week, and because of the requests I've been receiving, multiple people who want to be received in Colorado, I'll see what we can do to organize it. I am talking to people there now, trying to see where they are, and we're going to keep moving forward. Somehow, somewhere, we are going to get true Orthodoxy proper in Colorado. And if that means that, say, for example, another synod, comes in with a priest and baptizes everyone before I can get finished, I'm still happy because it worked. Let's see here. Idaho would be a good one. Yeah, I've heard that too. Some people have mentioned Idaho and Iowa. Osuki with a wave. Thank you for that. Yeah, and Father Pacomia says, you're right, of course, it's just good to get it out sometimes. Absolutely, and that's what we're here for. Well, we're here for all sorts of things. I mean, you can call us and challenge us and try to prove Islam or Catholicism, and we're more than happy with that. Let me see here. Ortho Joe says, yeah, where's Gregory? LOL. Yeah, he's outside the pale of true Orthodoxy. He doesn't recognize any true Orthodox except himself and his vicar bishop, who was created by Union. Let's see. Watson says, Father, I was able to get in touch with Father Stephen Allen. He has helped me a lot with prayer life and answering my questions on Orthodoxy. He even sent me icons when I couldn't afford. Glory to God. Well, that's good. I'm glad that he's doing that missionary work. Once again, though, as I mentioned, you might want to talk with Bishop Daniel of Indonesia, because he would probably be your nearest diocesan bishop. Because I'm glad that Father Stephen did that. It's encouraging and it helps you to have icons, but we got to get you baptized. Unless, I don't know, have you been baptized? I have no idea what your situation is. Maybe I shouldn't just jump to it. So tell me that, and then we will talk about what probably next steps are. If you have to reach out to Bishop Daniel, you may have to be. It depends on how you're going to have to be received, because that's just a real question. Ortho Justice, Father Stephen Allen is a blessing. Absolutely. Father Pacomius, God willing, I will be able to travel as a priest more freely than many if Archbishop Irenaeus would bless it, or if it's feasible, I could go see what could be done in Colorado. Well, glory to God, because I could use all the help I can get, and I don't know where you are, but you're probably closer to Colorado than I am. So let's continue on, and let's see here. So it's been a crazy week. not just personally for me, although it has, but also in the world. The first Anglican Archbishopress of Canterbury has been elevated. So the Anglicans now are headed by the entire Anglican is headed by a woman. Let me see here. Yep, Monster Reader says, Father, your comment about another jurisdiction coming in and baptizing everyone reminds me of St. Paul and saying, so long as Christ is proclaimed. That's what motivates me. That's what I'm thinking. I know how much resources we have, and I know how much we can do if we stop spending so much time arguing with each other and start looking outward to the rest of the world that needs the light of orthodoxy. So yeah, I am totally happy um, with stuff like that happening. It happens. I'm not concerned. I'm happy about it. Osuki says we need every single country on the earth to have at least one true Orthodox parish. God willing. God willing. Ortho Joe says the monastery is missing in Guatemala. Um, hold on. Monastery. Well, let me check it before I do that because last time we checked, we got lucky. So there we go. Let's go to monastery. Saint Senya of Petersburg Mission. Okay, this is which one? This is the. Oh, huh. You're right. No, you're right. There's only there. The monastery's not there. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Let's get that there. All right. So I'm sending out these requests. Reconquista asks on X, and since it's on X, you get a freebie for putting it on. And it says, we live now. Yes, we live now. We've been live now for well, not counting the prep time, 30 minutes. Watson says, "No, Father, I'm not baptized, but I want to be baptized, and God wills. I want to be a monk too." Okay, well, glory to God, God willing. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's something that'll happen. I mean, there is a monastic presence in Asia. It's just a question of getting it to India. Let me see. Demetrius Kanata says, the most holy triune God, the leader of orthodoxy, says that the COVID shot is a forerunner of the mark of the beast. Whosoever does the COVID shot is not a Christian. I don't know if I'd go that far. I would say that you're getting close when you say forerunner of the mark of the beast. Uh, I remember when the COVID thing started, there were people losing their jobs left and right, so on and so forth. Many of them acted under just pressure. Um, I believe they can repent. But so let me see. Osuki says truth. Um, let me see. Bay Area says, hey, Father, quick question. Why join the True Orthodox Church old calendars? Because my concern is y'all view on ecumenism. I don't see anything wrong with praying with other Christians. Well, the canons forbid us from praying with other Christians. When we call heretics, they're not Orthodox Christians, so they would be heterodox or heretics. Um, there is something spiritually wrong with it. I thought I heard a dog crying. There is something spiritually wrong with praying with people who do not have the same faith. It's forbidden by the canons. It's been forbidden within the history of the church since the very beginning of the church. And so doing it the way you can do you and say that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong, but I think God disagrees. Um, so unfortunately, it's the question of what do you want or what does God want? And when they are in conflict, um, what's it called? Then you choose what God wants. Bay Area says, but like, for example, praying at the dinner with your Catholic or Protestant friends or family or praying together in an emergency, what I would suggest is that you lead the prayers as an Orthodox Christian so they are following you. Reconquista says, can you imagine praying with Opidophoros and not be discussed? Absolutely. Like you're picking weird emergency cases or things that are very nuanced with family members, although ideally your family members should one day be Orthodox too. Um, and then you're just applying it out to like everything. Well, first off, many non-Orthodox would not pray with us because they consider us either idolaters or they consider us uh, we're going to hell because we're separated from the Pope or something. Tom Katsafanas, thank you very much with a super sticker for 279. I really appreciate it. I will add that to the totals. One moment. Super chats, stickers. Okay, it's TK. We see his name is Tom Katsafana, so thank you, Tom, and thank you for that. Oh, and we over. Okay, I forgot to add. Hold on. This is very thankful. I'm very grateful, and so we have to take off. That's 27. 73. I'm doing all the math stuff for so later. I don't have to. So TK comes in with 3. Now I can say that live. So we were at a $400 goal, and we have already reached $327 goal. We have 73 going. Thank you so much for those who are keeping the lights on. Let me see here. Okay, Father, it's 6:33 a.m. now. I got to get ready for college. Sorry, Father, for leaving chat. We'll join soon. See you soon, Father. Please have me in your prayers, Father. WhatsApp, sure. I will pray for WhatsApp because I don't have your first name, but I will definitely pray for you. It sounds like you're progressing on trying to reach the true faith, and we're going to do everything to help you get there. Tom Katsafana says, first time I caught you live. I watch your videos all the time. Thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. LOL. Thanks to Greek for being phonetic, unless it's Japanese, which is also phonetic, or Russian, which is mostly phonetic. Well, the point is, in English, it was definitely phonetic. Red Conquista asks, where is Father Boniface? Father Boniface is doing a lot of traveling. He may show up, he may not, but I totally get it. He has been traveling through 2 different cities, 5 hours apart in Florida. There's going to be some relocation. He did some baptisms this week. He did 10 baptisms this week. But I think I mentioned that last week because I think they had just been baptized like the day before. I may have been. Anyway, the point is, an orthopirate showed up and revealed himself, so that was cool. But yeah, and now I think Father Boniface is in Lakeland now, and he's working on stuff and probably exhausted and went to sleep early. That's my guess. Unless he's watching this now and just thinks it's really funny that. Okay. Anyway, the point is, so yeah, he is not mandatory to be here. I don't have a whip or anything, so he comes when he wants. Let's see. Rita John says we have a lot of illness on right now in the house right now. I will not be on tonight, but please keep us in your prayers. Rita John and family, servant of God, may preserve to life health for many years. Absolutely, we will pray for you, and more importantly, feel better. I know I'm hearing. I keep hearing things about illness and stuff, and it scares me. But we get through it. Daniel York. I also told 2 people that I'm inquiring into Orthodoxy and told them not to tell my brother. I'm not sure why that is, but if your brother has serious objections to Orthodoxy, you can always ask him to call in the show. Let me see here. Like, I understand the arguments where you can't compromise on truth, but like I said, I don't see anything wrong with having dialogue with other Christians, but there should be boundaries too. But don't you see how you're moving the goalposts in the conversation, Bay Area? We started with, why can't we pray with heretics? I think it's okay. And now it's like, oh, well, we can have dialogue with heretics. I'm having dialogue whenever I hear from one right now. I mean, we've had Protestants call, we've had Catholics call. Not too many Catholics this year. people inquiring into true orthodoxy. So yeah, if I was against dialogue altogether, I wouldn't even be doing this channel. So yeah, let's see here. Ortho Adjust, prayers to Reader John. Ortho Pirate with a member chat, praying for you, Reader John. Remember, if you're a member, you can also get your chats on the screen. Bay Area says, also, I know that we will definitely disagree on ecumenism. I still respect you and have some understanding about the true Orthodox Calvinist movement. Okay. Well, that's what you're always welcome. You know, you can even pop on and talk about your views, but we're probably going to disagree. Denise with a member chat says, praying for you and your family, Reader John. So this is good. Lots of people praying for you, and that's, I'm hopeful for you getting better. Let's see here. Let's see. Demetrius Kanata says, I am not close. I am in Christ God, and I proclaim what Christ God says. The COVID shot is a forerunner of the mark of the beast. I kind of agree with you. I think it is. I think to some degree it is. I think UPC codes were also a forerunner of the mark of the beast. But lose the all caps. It's really kind of painful. Father Boniface says, Benedicite, I am here with a member chat. So he is here. All right. Osuki says, schizo filling. And there it is, LOL. And Reckonkeys says, Father, did you see gold, silver reaching new highs? Is it time to tell peeps to buy gold and silver to avoid the destruction of the dollar? Also, we must disclaim not financial advice. I 100% agree. Watson became a new member. Thank you so much for that. And that's awesome. And your comments will appear on the screen. Bless Father Joseph. Bless Father Boniface. Denise, may God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay. Let's see here. Daniel says, no, my brother's Catholics, and if I told my parents that I'd punish me. I get it. Just, you know, be careful with what you do and be ready for an answer when asked. Reader John says, thank God, I cherish all your prayers. Ortho Adjust says, God complex, LOL. Bay Area says, a concern I have about the true Orthodox Church old calendars is that there's so much division with them, like there's so many churches. Yeah, but that's also been a good thing because it's also inspired all of us true Orthodox to work harder to make more churches, which is why we have so many churches. So I see it as a plus. Let's see. Tota Dola said, got fired for not taking it. And yes, it is a forerunner. I agree. I think it is. I don't disagree with the poster. I just disagree with how he's putting it. Let's see. All right, let's continue. See here, prayers for Reader John from Reconquista. Conrad kept. Unfortunately, all movements seem to be split up. No, actually, most true Orthodox, in fact, are actually in communion with other true Orthodox throughout the world. So no, that's not true. It's that's the way I'd say World Orthodox want to see us, but it's not true. Osugi says dismantle the central banking empire. Then he says thank you. Demetrius Kanata says, have you ever heard of Batishka Raphael Berestov? No, I'm not sure who that is. Woo, okay. But on that topic, I guess I was thinking about that earlier today. So I guess I'll just put that on the screen. Please note this is not financial advice of any kind, and I am not getting paid for this. I kind of wish I would, but I'm not. Okay, so people wonder, should people invest in gold and silver again? I'm gonna say, yeah, I think that it's a good. There's different ways to do it. One is to buy coins, etc., which are expensive. I found this a couple of years ago, and they're pretty cool. Basically, what they are is their gold backs are actually literally gold infused currency type denominations. You'll see one gold back is worth $7.93. I believe that has something like 0.001 troy ounce of gold on it. There are currently 6 states using it. When I first started seeing them, it was like 4 states. So 6 states there are where there are actual lots of stores and people celebrating and using these things and just trading their money for little pieces of gold on paper. So kind of wacky. It's kind of cool, pretty interesting. That's goldback.com. There are other ways, buying coins, buying crypto. But if you want the hard stuff, you're either going to buy bullion, or if you want to do something smaller, buy one of these. But that's all I'm going to say about that. And so let's put that back there. Let's see. Ortho Pirate says, Bay Area, you should call in. Demetrius says, Father Raphael is a holy Russian father. He is 94 years old, and lives on the Holy Mountain. Yeah, we have old people in old monks in Esfigmeto too, but we don't. The government doesn't celebrate them; they try to kill them. Yeah, if you wanted to call in, you can. Bay Area says the GOC America reminds me of the Catholic set of a conscious group most. If you're talking about Gregory of Colorado, like Goka, yeah, and they're not different from each other because they only recognize each other. Yeah, Osuki says they're schismatic and he has a very small following and doesn't recognize any other or the Orthodox, and himself he's cringe. The flip side is no other true Orthodox recognize him either. So all the millions of true Orthodox, one thing they agree on is that Gregory of Colorado is not Orthodox. He's just a weird sect. Let's see here. Big Sosa says, a while ago, I saw someone mention how needing a spiritual father is a monastic practice rather than being something for laymen. Is there validity in this? I often see people say we need one commonly. Actually, believe it or not, that's like elderism. That actually really arose from the 1950s onward. Most regular people have a parish priest. That's good enough. You can confess to the priest. You don't need an elder. Um, people seek the guidance of an elder, usually want to become monastics or something more. But for most people, just your priest is enough. You really don't have to. Let's see here. What do we got? Unbacked foreign currency. Ozuki says unbacked foreign currency is a forerunner to the Antichrist. Bay Area asks, how do I call in? If you're on YouTube, click the link in the top of the chat. And so usually it's in white. Let's see. Unbacked foreign currency. Yeah, I read that one. Daniel York. Have you ever seen a person with a 500 knot prayer rope? Lots of them. Yes, I have. It's more convenient to sometimes use just a big prayer rope, just so you remember if you complete it, you have 500. You said 500 Jesus prayers. So the reason for that is not because I'm so cool. It's because like if you have let's say a 50 knot prayer rope, then you have to count in your head 10 times to make sure you did all those Jesus prayers. Demetrius says Father Raphael does not commemorate Bartholomew. Okay, well, good for him. Glory to God. I hope more monks follow in his footsteps. Hopefully, he's not commemorating Patriarch Kirill. Okay, welcome Bay Area. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Wait, hold on. Give me a sec. Let me.
It's a nice cat photo.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, how's it going, Father?
it's going okay. You've been on a couple of times in the chat, but never have we spoken. I don't remember. How are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm good, thank God. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm just like I'm like an inquirer to Orthodoxy. I'm
Okay.
just searching. I guess I've been on a spiritual journey for like the past few months. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the arguments for like true Orthodoxy kind of make sense, especially with like the calendar like issue,
Okay.
especially like the when the patriarch Meletius, he was definitely a Freemason.
Yeah.
But I guess like an issue I have, like 'cause for context, I used to be Catholic,
Okay.
and like I'm pretty like, because of my Catholic background, like I don't have an issue with like praying with Protestants or like other, Christians, for me, as long as they believe in like the Trinity, like I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. First off, this is going to be a very direct. Do you have any true Orthodox parishes in your nearby area?
So originally I'm from Northern California. I'm from the Bay Area. That's my name, Bay Area. And the closest true Orthodox there's a monastery like 2 hours from where I live in Kelseyville, California. It's I think
Okay.
genuine Orthodox Christians of Greece. I
Okay.
forgot. I'm not sure which synod. I know there's like a bunch of like different like synods with like the same name.
Yeah,
But
well, they're all representing the same community.
and right now I'm living in SoCal right now because I go to college down here, and there is a true Orthodox parish an hour and 30 minutes away from me.
Okay.
But like it's like considering like my financial situation, and gas is pretty expensive here in California. I can't really like go down there, unfortunately.
Well, why not try to go there like once a month instead of every week or something?
That has been on my mind actually.
Yeah, you could just say
But
typically at home 3 times out of the month, and then you just go, so you save money.
yeah, but I don't know, like just the things that have been like pushing me away from true orthodoxy is like the not praying with like other Christians, and like the pretty like harsh stance on like ecumenism.
Hmm.
Like I can understand like the not compromising on certain issues,
Hmm.
like for example, believing that orthodoxy is the truth, and I can accept that like for sure 100%. But like I don't see anything wrong with praying with other Christians.
Let me ask you a question. If you believe something is the truth, then it follows that as you learn from that source, that you've already accepted it's correct. Um, the question becomes, is it really that you've accepted the truth, or do you still have the questions? For example, I can point to a number of canons from the rudder which will tell you that even from the time of the apostles to the time of the early church and later on, that this is a practice that should not have been done. Now the question for you is, do you believe in the church enough as an authority historically where you would take its judgment or her judgment over your own?
Hmm. That's a Yeah, that's a good question. I guess wait, can you repeat it so I can give you a good response?
Sure. What I'm saying is that if you know that the church's authority has, from the time of the apostles, the early church, and the church of the councils, historically separated and broken away from heretics, would you be comfortable understanding and accepting the church's authority rather than your own opinion?
I mean, if the church was founded by Christ himself, then I would definitely follow that.
Exactly. So why we're doing it isn't because we just personally want to be mean or cringe or anything like that. We're doing it because of the fact that that is the traditional Christian response to heresy. Even among the Westerners, even among the Protestants early on, they would cut communion for various reasons, which they perceived as related to the faith. So the actual practice isn't for everyone to be all lovey-dovey and pretend uniting when you guys don't agree on the truth. It's to find the truth, learn the truth, and teach the truth. And when you do that, you'll find that you're internally consistent. Because you, like, for example, you can't call yourself really an Orthodox Christian and then say, but heresies are okay. This is against how our forefathers, um, the holy fathers of the church had taught. Like that, what would we would be doing is emulating modernist models, and that's not orthodox. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Um, and like I do have like some other like issues, even like within like I guess what you consider world Orthodox is like the rebaptism of converts.
There's no
Um,
such thing as rebaptism. Either one is baptized into orthodoxy or they're not.
okay, yeah, because like I was
There were
baptized
there
Catholic.
don't get me wrong. There have been cases where, out of unnecessary caution, people have been rebaptized. But in Orthodoxy, it shouldn't happen as long as you were baptized with the Orthodox form and triple immersion. For the most part, that can be resolved by chrismation. But now you mentioned being baptized Roman Catholic as a baby, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so was I. That wasn't a baptism.
Because what about
Um,
like, for example, Father Seraphim Rose, he was baptized Methodist, but he was
and
received by Chrismation.
it's in yeah, and people who are defending ecumenist baptisms, you do like to bring up that example, but what they forget is that when the Rocor Synod issued a directive saying that people from heterodox denominations at this point cannot be baptized, cannot be received by any other way but baptism because the forms had changed so much, Father Seraphim accepted that.
Did he get baptized into the Orthodox Church?
No, he got chrismated, but every future convert that went to him was baptized, not rebaptized, baptized. So the point is, had Father Seraphim come into the church a little later, he would have been baptized, but he followed whatever the church's rule was. And the church's rule on baptism historically, eventually I will get around to reviewing the Moscow Synod of 1620. You should really get this book from Orthodox Traditionalist Publications. It shows that the Russian church's position was not nearly as liberal as modern Moscow patriarchate clergy like to claim. So, and in Russia today, most Roman Catholics and Protestants will be baptized into Orthodoxy.
Yeah, interesting. I know, like,
Welcome,
especially
Father
like,
Boniface. Go ahead.
oh, I know, like, there's like still some, like, I guess, World Orthodox churches that still that baptize converts. I know, like, some Rokor
Yeah.
priests still do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
Um,
tradition was
and
everyone did that.
interesting, and also, another concern. I know I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry, but I just have a lot of questions. I've just been on
That's
a
uh, that's why the
journey.
show's here.
Like, why did the old calendarists and true Orthodox split, even though throughout church history, like with the crisis of like Arianism, a good example, people didn't split, you know.
Yeah, they
But
did.
when it comes to
No, they
the
did. No, they did.
really
That's false. Everything, believe it or not, that is a common teaching by ecumenists and by ecumenist protectors like J. Dyer, etc. Like they'll bring up the case of Nestorianism. They don't realize that actually people fled to their homes and that priests started house churches during the time of Nestorius, and they did the exact same thing with Arianism. They did the exact same thing with iconoclasm. They did the exact same thing with monophysitism. They literally, the faithful always stood apart from heretics. And if you, I would suggest getting, again, this is a godsend. This book came out last year, The History of Resistance by Subdeacon Ictarios. I could tell you all the examples, but you could read hundreds of pages of them in this book and be properly armed against people lying to you.
interesting. I didn't know that actually. I thought like people, like, for example, during the Arian crisis, like pretty much stayed loyal to the church instead of schisming. Like, I didn't
Well,
know
the
that.
the
Which is that.
church is the faithful. So if you're staying loyal to
Mm,
an institution, also schism is not a verb. I say this all the time. Schism is a state. So someone goes into schism or one leaves schism, but they can't schism. That's a J. Dyer creation also to turn schism into a verb. He's just making English worse. Um, the point is that yeah, that you don't go into schism by proclaiming the true faith. You go into schism by separating from those with the true faith. So if you are separating from an institution which has been conquered by heretics, you're not going into schism. You're protecting the faith. Get the book, History
interesting.
of Resistance. Highly
Yeah,
recommended.
yeah. I've been recommended that before. Yeah, that book does seem interesting. I would definitely check it out. And another question that has been on my mind since looking into orthodoxy is, like, how would someone, especially in like true Orthodox circles, react to like, like apparitions of Mary in Catholicism? And I've heard
There.
stories. Well, what's up?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
And like I've heard like stories of like saints appearing to people of the Coptic Church. Like how could someone like a true Orthodox or old calendarist respond to that?
Well, I mean, let's look at the circumstances, okay? In the first place, I do not believe that most Marian apparitions are real. I think they're frauds.
Mm,
But you're referring to Our Lady of Zaytun, which appeared at a Coptic church. It does not, from what I've heard from different sources, it kind of, who saw this, they kind of said that, it kind of, she just was kind of generically standing there, which actually follows the traditional Orthodox pattern, but it's in Egypt, a place where Coptic Christians are constantly martyred. I think that even if they're heretics and they're being killed, maybe that's to inspire them to go deeper. And many Copts are actually becoming just regular Orthodox. So it has its effects as well in terms of real conversions. So I don't. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I think it's an interesting one. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I can't confirm it was the Theotokos. Um, but the point is, sometimes God works for people, outside the church just for their general salvation in terms of giving them the chance to live, and then possibly finding the church later. Sometimes we can't see the foresight of God in these things. But what I won't do is I won't assume that that confirms the Coptic Church's position, which is anathema for 1600 years.
There was an
mm.
interesting
Yeah, because
article. Can you
Go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Father.
I saw
yeah,
there's an interesting short on this past week that I saw where an Orthodox priest or had met a woman who had the stigmata, and the demons was crying out of the woman who had the stigmata.
That's
So in
creepy.
other words,
Wow.
so Padre Pio and Saint Francis and things like that, who was Saint Francis
Saint
is what we
Francis.
call prelist, very deceived by his own
Yeah.
pride.
Yeah.
And
Francis of Assisi is, yeah, not a saint.
yeah. If I said it, I'm just bad habit.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
interesting.
yeah. So you've got the visions of Fatima have been shown. It's funny how they pray for the conversion of Russia. Well, what are they talking about? Russia has Orthodox Christians. What are you saying? They want Russia to convert to Roman Catholicism. See, and so I was a leading indicator for me, which as I was coming out of Catholicism, to see that Fatima was saying we want Russia to be converted, and the secrets of Fatima, all these secrets that the Catholics hide and bring up and generate interest to keep the money flowing in, and the popes, if he had only said that prayer right, and it's like for the conversion of Russia and stuff like that. It's all a mystique that's disingenuous. Um, so if you look into history, and so you ask, should I pray with the other faiths like Protestants and Catholics? If you study their faith long enough and you start to see their errors, and really you start to see them when you become true Orthodox, because I was an ordained Presbyterian minister, and I actually also went through the Roman Catholic Church. And when you see their errors, it makes you say that I don't want to participate in their error because I know so much the truth now. And so when you dig into your true Orthodox theology and understand these things, then you start to say, hey, I'll let
Okay.
you all pray, but I'll do my own. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm seeing in the chat, Demetrius Kanatas, besides insulting true Orthodox, talking in all caps. You honestly, I think you're a troll. So, with all due respect, I am putting you out. Sorry. I'm trying to more lay down the law as we continue growing. So I'm gonna I had to take him out because this was kind of getting ridiculous. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna try to see. I want to catch up on comments. Is there a Western Rite parish in Michigan? Not to my knowledge. Or I don't even know who that is, or is he far away? How far away is he from Etna? I guess that's a question for you, Bay Area. How far are you from Etna?
Oh, from my hometown, Etna's like 5 hours away. I know I,
Okay.
I mentioned Kelseyville. I think it's St. Gregory of Sinai Monastery in Kelseyville, California. That's like 2 hours from where I'm from, and I've been thinking about like when I go home for like the holidays to like go check it out. But yeah, Etna's like really far. It's like 5 hours away from where I'm at.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Give me just a moment. Let's continue with the comments. Father Patrick would like that, but wasn't it founded by Christ? A necessary side to consider is that the fathers never considered heretics to be Christians. That's very true, very clear. It gets on the screen because it is actually correct, even though he's not a member and didn't do a super chat. Responses to Demetrius, he got more and more unhinged in the chat, so I just said no. Ortho John says you can go watch Subdeacon Nectarius' interview with Father Andrew Kansas, Bay Area. Highly recommended. David Daniels says, I currently donate to the NFTU. Do you keep a higher percentage of donations here on YouTube or on your website? The percentage is higher if you go through my website and go through either like PayPal, Cash App, or any of the others. YouTube does take 30%. It does help a lot still. This month, I think we're on target for about $300 for the month of September. So that's good. I don't see it till the 21st. But the whole point is, even with a lot of people like donating through YouTube, I'm not even going to fault them for it. It's 30%. But if you like doing it that way, it still helps. And we're really grateful. Let's hear. Tuesday, all those questions are good. We learned too. Denise, just curious, Demetrius, why all caps? Okay, he's shouting. He's angry. Yeah, he was angry. Let's see here. And then more people started looking for, or is it another wait, Ascendancy says, they already have schisms and separate synods like the Free Anglican Church, so I assume it will lead to a couple of conservative Anglicans. Yeah, we were talking earlier about this, Father. The new Archbishoprics of Canterbury.
Yeah. That's a shame.
What a mess.
You're not kidding.
Denise says, no, it isn't. Suki says all camps should exist. First question, how do papists and monophysites react to true Orthodox miracles? In the BOSVR, aka Synod of Slatiora, we have numerous and number of witnesses. Yeah, there are miracles among the true Orthodox. Ask them that question back. Miracle claims are only testaments of the faith, but don't prove the truth of the faith. Even in Scripture, it talks about false miracles, etc. Very true. Okay, so I'm going to skip Demetrius' comments because we have before and after. Ascendancy says we don't. Stigmata is a papist thing that started a couple of 100 years after the Great Schism. Reconquista says trolls pay the tolls. And with that, we want to thank Ortho Adjust with a $10 Canadian donation because I don't care if they're troll or not. If you are helping keep the lights on, I respect it. He says, go to Kelseyville. Father Patrick would love to have you. Also, turn up your mic, Father, and Capsman is probably from the OCZ cult. He very well could be. I didn't even think about that. They've been so off my radar that I kind of, I had my own problems this week, so definitely it's difficult enough. I am trying now to make my microphone obey me. It's only half obeying me, and try to kind of balance it so it is there. All right, that should do it. Okay. All right. If it sounds like I just killed a rabbit, I did. No, I actually was just trying to adjust the microphone, which is kind of loose. Maybe I can tighten this up. No. Aha. All right. Okay. How do I sound now? Let me see here. You have to pay $50 to get on band with a member chat. That was good, John. What is the OCZ called? Denise says he's the Orthodox Christian Zealot guy. Thank you. Yeah, Orthodox journalism. Whatever he thinks is going to work this week, it's pretty sad. He's still, the proper term is actually unbaptized inquirer journalism because that's what he really is.
Also, Father, I have a quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, because I know you said that you believe that a lot of Marian apparitions aren't real. What's your opinion on the Our Lady of Guadalupe apparition in Mexico?
even that one was controversial when it started. I don't know if you've known this, but you should read some of the books on the Guadalupe apparition. At first, the church hierarchy did not trust it. They even brought in Mosera bishops, Roman Catholic bishops, to investigate the painting style, and they were like, "This doesn't look like anything like our old iconography, etc." I don't know where this came from. So, as far as they were concerned, at first, originally, Guadalupe was seen as either a miracle or a very pious fraud. But either way, they thought it was okay.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah, because go ahead.
let's say in Central Florida, the Guadalupe is a cult, and they worship the Lady of Guadalupe more than they worship Jesus.
Yeah,
It's a cult following.
yeah. For me, because I'm Mexican, and I
Okay.
do. There is like a worship problem when it comes to Mary and Saint Jude. A lot of Mexican Catholics kind of are practically like worshiping Mary instead of
Syncretists? Yeah.
God. Yeah, like syncretists. Yeah, and that kind of almost proves the Protestants right when it comes to accusing the Orthodox and the Catholics of Mary worship. Obviously, I don't believe that Orthodox or Catholics worship Mary, but due to those bad apples actually doing that, that just proves the Protestants' points, if that makes sense.
Well, I think that unfortunately this is a real problem. It's not so much a problem in long-established Orthodox countries, but it is a problem that you do find, particularly in some parts of Latin American Catholicism. It's primarily in Mexico, but not only.
Yeah.
And it's also because you see elements of this in the Caribbean with Santeria. You see
Mhm.
different because I know that with Mexicans they have Santa Muerte, so you
Yep.
have like Our Lady of Guadalupe with a skull face on and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like they're not talking about the Theotokos, and I think everyone kind of knows.
Yeah.
So the point is, you kind of just have to. Obviously, that's not Christian devotion. You have to tell people what the right thing is when you see it, and also be careful because some of those people are crazy.
Yeah. And
So
I do have one last concern before I go.
okay,
Yeah, I know historically in the Orthodox Church, like heretics were not considered Christians, like for example, like Arians, modalists, etc.
correct. They're anathematized. Yeah.
But like what I have an issue with is when people don't consider Catholics or Protestants to be Christian, even though they believe in the Trinity, if that makes sense.
Well, no, it doesn't make sense because remember, even like Arians, Monophysites, Monothelites claim to believe in the Trinity, but they don't believe in it correctly. So they would have been considered false teachers. And more importantly, I would say ignore the jeering of Roman Catholic friends and look into the life of Saint Peter the Aleut. The
Mm,
simple reality is also Cardinal Stepanak in World War II. These were people who viciously persecuted and killed the Orthodox people over their non-recognition. So the point is, it's not just the fact that they are not part of the church because um, they've modified or altered the proper understanding of the Trinity. It's because many times they were willing to kill off everyone who disagreed with them.
okay. Well, interesting. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time, Father. Although we have, I do have my disagreements, but I appreciate that we were able to have this dialogue. Like I
Yeah,
said, I'm
and
a fan.
you're always welcome on. You can always come on and ask more questions. And I would recommend going to Kelseyville or going to Etna, taking that time. You don't do it every week, but you do it so you can understand what being around Orthodox people, true Orthodox people, is really like.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, you guys have a good night.
God bless you. In the name of the
Thank you.
Father,
God
and the Holy
bless.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, well that was an interesting call. Okay, so let's get back to comments. Let's see here. There's a fake Orthodox news site. We read that the devil can disguise himself as anything. Yep, there is one for Cuba in Ermita de Caridad. It's a Black Mary for some reason. I have actually been at that church. um, it's unique to say the least. But yeah, and they do like literally like almost Spanish Nova Sordo. You know, you got the guitar Spanish music going on. It's wild. I wouldn't call it Orthodox, but it's wild. And it was, you know, I always thought the priest was nice, the people were nice. They were very nice Roman Catholics. So yeah, Saint Nikita is an example of that, and the World Orthodox Western Rite actually recognizes the Marian apparitions of Guadalupe. I know, I've seen that, and that's going even further than Roman Catholics did when the apparition first showed up. TK says, Father, if you're the one who runs the X page, thank you for the follow. I don't think I have a page on X yet. I have my account, which is News NFTU. So if that's who you're referring to, no problem. I probably looked at your profile and thought this is a good Orthodox person to follow. Let me see here. John MC says the image is in the provincial Tintoretto school style. Yeah, I know. I don't know what that is, but I sense that it was definitely some European art style. Are there particular Daniel Langloyd asks, are there particular Matthewite synods we should avoid, and if so, why? I personally just tell people that if they want to visit the Matthewites, start with the Stephanos Matthewites, and then learn about the other ones. You really want to, because you know you have to understand that position is not. It's a much stricter position, but more importantly, it's not representative of like all of true Orthodoxy. So, what I would say is this. I would say be careful on that, because the main Matthewite Synod is like, again, if this is true, if this is the true Orthodox world, this is kind of the Matthewite world, but then this is kind of what the small kind of these break-off synods are. Like a lot of the time, the parishes, like we just saw that last week. There was a guy asking about a certain parish, which was a bishop who was in schism from the Kierakites, who were in schism from the Stephanites. And by the time the guy asked me the second week, and it was great to have him call, it turns out that he died. Well, now that parish isn't under them, so they're going to say for all Orthodox bishops, and they're going to see who they should join, whether they should go back to the Kierakites or go back to the Stephanos Synod. So yeah. Let's see here. So again, I'm not a Matthewite, so I don't feel comfortable with that. There are Matthewites on the cafe, so feel free to contact them. Conrad says, Wasuki, which one? I was Roko Western Rite, and we didn't. Ortho Pirate says, the prophecy attached to OLG is the reclaiming of taking territory. I'm going to assume you mean Our Lady of Grace. Tuve Adola says, Protestants are never right. Big Sosa says, is elderism basically blind obedience to an elder or even clergy? We should be obedient to our priests and our elders, although sometimes one problem with these elders is they would ask for things that are not normal, typical. Like it's one thing to say, here, pray some more. And it's another thing to say okay, I'm not like an evil elder, so I don't know what I'd say. One of many, says Ortho Pirates. Daniel Langley says all of them. TOC Stephanos is fine for the most part, but the rest are schismatics from them who have adopted heresy and contradict their own history. Again, I feel more comfortable saying ask a Matthewite. Osuki said Conrad kept the ones on Roots of Orthodoxy, ran by an RC, by the way. There were Matthewites on Roots of Orthodoxy. Don't they have Our Lady of the Milk in Florida? I never heard of Our Lady of the Milk. Father Boniface, have you heard of a place called
No, I haven't heard. No, I haven't heard of that one.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. Yes, that's Elderism. Reader John, that's Dr. Taylor Marshall about the... Okay,
I was going to bring him up. I was tempted to bring him up.
I feel like I'm not going to touch this topic. Okay, wait, I think I know what you're talking about. There's that one weird case where there was a claim that an apparition of the Mother of God ended up giving out her breast milk to some Roman Catholic.
To the same, yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was weird. That's weird.
And Taylor Marshall is claiming practically the same thing. I think, but I remember he did that a couple years ago,
He claimed
kind
that
of in
the
that
mother,
realm.
he claimed that he was breastfed by the Mother of God.
Oh,
Or
in
came
some vision or
close.
something.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Okay. That's just weird. That's just weird. Again, don't forget, we are in the 20th minute of the second hour. So, please help keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR on Give and Go. Just look on the description. If you did not, if you're not aware of why this is kind of a big total that I'm putting on this time, it is because, as I mentioned about 3 hours before I started the show, I was going to get some gas for my car, and the passenger side control arm crunched. The tire kind of there. So it was a great hullabaloo to get to get the AAA to pick it up, because here's what happened. Here's the problem that happened, and this is why I had to stay there for an hour, and it became kind of an ordeal. I had AAA, so I was like, okay, I'll call AAA. It took 10-20 minutes to get that set up. So then a cop shows up, and the cop is like, okay, well, I'm like, I called AAA. He's like, oh, because we were going to get it towed for you. I'm like, get it towed where? He's like, to the impound. I'm like, okay, no, I called AAA, and they use this towing company. And it turns out that the AAA also uses the towing company. So I was like, okay, great. So since I called early, can I sit inside as opposed to outside in the 80-degree weather? And the cop was like, well, you could, but then if our guy shows up first, we'll go to the impound. I'm like, it's the same guy. And he was like, that's true. So I was like, okay, can I at least watch from the window inside the KFC there? Because at least there was some air conditioning. And he was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Of course, I was in there 20 minutes and I came back out and I was like, yeah, I'll just wait on the street. Waited for an hour and made sure to stay very studiously, because this cop was like very conversational with the towing guy. And I was like, I feel like if I'm not conversational with the towing guy, he might pick the cop over me. So I was like, okay. But in the end, he did, in fact, take it to the repair shop. And then he called me like 5 minutes later, and because I guess the car leaked oil. And so I guess because, the police didn't get their wonderful impound, they were like, well, what's going to happen about the oil? So it turns out that he's also a volunteer firefighter, the towing guy. So he had to send the fire truck, and it cost me $25.
Oh
And
my.
I don't even know how much it's going to cost tomorrow. I know that I have access to that big loan, that the hard money big loan thing that I used the first time I repaired the car. I'll probably have to use that again. But anything you can send in would be really helpful. That is why we have a $400 goal, and we've already raised $83. I could really use it, because I had a horrible week. Very painful things spiritually happened and physically happened in terms of people. And then it all ends with this. I got myself out of my funk. I said, okay, I'm going to go get the gas. Let me get gas for this car. And crunch stopped right in front of a
Right.
KFC.
Right.
What are you going to do? Let me see here. Daniel York asks, hold on. Yeah, so was it just became a catechumen a few weeks ago, TK? Glory to God. All right, I am okay. I'm gonna just Reckon says Dr. Taylor Marshall had an apparition where he says a sick lady with gorging breasts with milk and was representing a sick church. Okay, that's just weird. Daniel York asks, who killed Peter the Aleut? There's a debate whether it was Jesuits or Franciscans. But of course, the Roman Catholics deny all knowledge of his murder. Ortho Pirate says, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Tooth Dola says, are Matthewites and Zealots the same? No, ultra Orthodox are Zealots. Matthewites are just, I'd say, slightly more zealous Zealots. And let me see. If you mean OCJ, he isn't part of anything. Unbaptized and not part of any faith. That is correct. He wants to associate with Bishop Amphilochius, who separated from the Kirikites over very superficialness, in my opinion. Yes, 100% correct, especially the most important operating term. He has not been received by anyone. So he is faking it to everybody. OLG was referring to Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay. Tortero says that's weird in all senses. I agree. Ascendancy Reconquista comes in to help keep the lights on for $9.99. Okay, boy, that maybe okay. Well, it's still on the screen. Yeah, Dr. Taylor Marshall saw these gorging breasts from the Mother of God and represented the church, but she was sick and he was sucking. Okay. I don't know what's going on with Dr. Taylor Marshall. I don't know what's his deal. I don't know. I thank you for helping keep the lights on, and I will add that. I'm just I mean, I can't be mad at you because it was Dr. Taylor Marshall who said it, so I have to be mad at him, and he's not on the stream. So it's fine. We have you up there, Reconquista, and we're going. Osuki says that is insane. Another one. Would the Metropolia be considered Florinite or Matthewite? Keep the lights on. That's an interesting question, but I mean, from our lineage, our heritage with Archbishop Maxentios, there's no way we could say that we're not Florinite in origin. That said, because of our unique perspective of being outside the Church of Greece, we can have different opinions than just Florinite good, Matthewite bad. One can look at them both positively. And thank you again for helping keep the lights on. This is great. So we are now at 103, and I'm hearing a ding. So this is good. Glory to God. Let's see what happens. So that we are now at 297. So this is great. But wait, I'm going to check the ding sound. Let me see what happened. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Wow. Okay. So first off, this is crazy. My computer's being weird. Okay. So let me update this properly. Because I received $20 from SM in PayPal. And I received let me see, 25 from OP in Cash App. And if anyone wants me to say their names, just let me know and I will read it out loud. VP sent 27 on Cash App, so thank you for that. And yeah, I think that's it, but that is 20, 47, 7, yeah, 47, 72. $72 that came in from three recipients. Thank you so much, OP, VP.
Praise the Lord.
And SM. Thank you. And so what did I have there? I had, okay, so the target now is at 175. Because I had 103 and 72, and so that puts this down to 220. The goal is now 225. So this is amazing. Thank you so much. We are now halfway to the target. If we get to 3/4 of the target, by 10:30, Reader John. God bless you. How are you doing?
Father bless.
Everything okay? Can you hear me or?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we're just the whole house is going through what's it called? Hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long week. Or a long 2 weeks.
Let me see here. So yeah, well, we're glad you're here. I mean, you said you weren't going to show up earlier, but that's okay. We're so glad you're here. But you don't have to talk much.
I got all the boys to bed, so it's okay.
All right. Reconquista says, "Can we play the video of Dr. Taylor Marshall?" I mean, come on.
No, I don't want to throw up in my mouth. Come on, guys.
It's been enough, okay? I don't need that guy being.
I didn't bring it up for that purpose. Come on, guys.
I had a vision. Like no.
Yeah.
There's actually a chapel near St. Augustine, Florida, for Our Lady of the Milk, or
It is in Florida. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Father Ronald. Tote Dulas asks, can I send through PayPal on YouTube? You can actually just go to NFTU.net and scroll to the bottom, and there's a PayPal button.
Yeah, the Cash App, PayPal, LTC, BTC, and what's the other one? XMR. There you go.
Forget it. Dr. Taylor Marshall put the video on private. Maybe he's embarrassed. Yeah, I'd be kind of embarrassed. I'd be a little embarrassed with that. As an adult, HFM sucks.
I bet that was a cringe video. I'm just saying.
I can only imagine. Even just reading the comments, I'm like, ew. So it's like you see it like on video, like, ew, you know, like just no. Oh, okay, hold on.
Well, he dropped his bid to run for president too.
Yeah, glory to God, we just got another donation from Denise Marshall via Cash App. Thank you for that.
Wait, who's running for president?
He was.
DM,
Really?
He dropped out.
Wow.
Now the target is at 190, and now it's down to, thanks to DM, target. I'm so bad with math. I'm so dumb. No, I'm not that bad. I'm okay. I know my arithmetic. So now the goal is 210. The target is 190. We are almost halfway through. Whoa, another one. Okay, from BOA, Black with the Whack Light. It's on the screen. He said, from what I read, Bishop Chrysostom, another one. Bishop Chrysostomos of Florida changed the position on grace of World Orthodox in an attempt to unite the Matthewites with us. Any idea why this was rejected by Matthewites? Yeah. The main reason is because at that point, I don't think they trusted him.
I think it was bad timing.
Yeah, it was really just bad timing, because one thing to remember is that he was trying to reach out to the new calendarists in one last attempt to get them to fix things, and they were lying to him. And he's like, no, this is going to work out. And the Matthewites are like, they're trying to take all our buildings and stuff. So to that end, the Matthewites were right. So yeah, and it's wrong for us to say that they weren't right at all. They were definitely right. So thank you for that. Let me see if I can just add that to the banner. Did I add this already? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, so
I lost track. I'm not gonna lie. I keep hearing ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I think that's his second donation. If I didn't, did I put in the first one in the list? Start. So yep, that's the second. So let's go here. So I'm gonna put that for 20.
Oh man, we're so close to hitting.
We are now at
Praise
200. We're now at 200, and the goal is 200. So if we can get to that 75% 300, then I will go on, as I normally end the show at 10:30. I will go on until 11. Yeah, I normally end at 10:30. I'll go on until 11 if we get to 75%. And if we get to 100%, then we're gonna go for a full hour more.
And we get the victory sound.
Yeah, and we get the victory sound.
Hey, well, look, I'm going to sign off. I got a busy day tomorrow. I'm pretty tired.
I was mentioning that you are literally traveling between two cities and doing lots of movement. And
I bet your arm's sore.
And one of our friends, her mother died, so the funeral's tomorrow.
Lord,
so I'll be traveling to that. So pray for Deborah and so on. Pray for Saba and Ezekiel. They're on the road now. They're going up to the Abbey. So they got about
they're going.
They got about 14 hours more to drive.
Wow.
Yippee. So wow. God bless them. You know, I mean,
they're doing a plumbing New Jersey tour.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so God bless you all. Thank you, and I'll talk to you all later.
Have a good night, Father. Benedicite.
Thank you. Benedicite.
So that was fun. And Ortho Pirates has another one. Yeah, I mean, I'm too fat to do DJ Khaled, but there's that other guy, the Muslim super guy that came on our show that I called in once, and he looked just like DJ Khaled. I was like, all he do is lose. And let's see, Orthodox.
Don't do that again, Father.
Well, you want me to do that? All you do is lose. Anyway, Orthodoxy or Death says the adult. Death to Compromise says 107 watching on X, total 140 watching and climbing. The thing is, we do an interesting program here, and we try to glorify God, and at the same time try to look at news and find it very interesting, and occasionally talk way too much about ourselves. But let me see here. Reconquista says cash, Orthodoxy or Death. Totally Duelist donated on the site through PayPal. Father bless. May God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Let me take a look because I am not sure.
About Father Boniface's arm is sore. 10 baptisms. Wow.
Yeah, it was great to have Father Boniface popped in. I thought that this new fellow, this Bay Area guy, he was interesting. He's still searching. He's still a Roman Catholic, and he's not even a catechumen anymore. He's an inquirer. So
well, he's still holding on a lot of the newer stuff from Catholicism.
Yeah, and he doesn't know. And plus, he was one thing to remember is that when you're raised Roman Catholic, you're raised ecumenist. So you assume that all the ecumenist facts are real, and they're not.
Well, especially this far after Vatican II, definitely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So let me just see here because I am looking at this and trying to figure out who can. Okay. All right. I see $5 from CP, so I'm adding that.
Another one.
Another one. Getting closer. This is great. So let's go with PayPal CP $5. All right. And that puts us over the target. We're not at 75% yet, but we're getting close. And the goal is now $195. So this is kind of awesome. Let's see here. If we can get there, we'll get to hear the ding. Otherwise, we're going to have to hear the loser sound. And you all know that sound because I've played it a lot.
Man,
all right. Lazy donating on the site through PayPal. Sorry, I wasn't a lot. No, it's okay. To the Adolis, thank you so much. I'm happy whether I receive $5. I'm happy when I receive $20. I'm happy when I receive $1. I'm happy when I receive $100. I'm really happy. The point is, I'm happy no matter what.
Every little bit helps keep the lights on, right, Father?
Exactly. And sometimes the bills are small. This week they're a little bigger because surprise, car problem. Let's see. Check, give, send, go. Okay. I will, whenever I get that suggestion from someone, I shall check.
I'm glad you got that X premium donation. That's quite a view count there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me see here. Checking here. Whoa, okay. I missed that. Okay. Aha. Okay. Thank you so much from SD or MS. I feel like I'm like identifying these people now. I'm sorry if you wanted to keep it a secret, but okay. Let's go to the banners. And now the target has dropped. Gone up. The target is now 225. And the goal is 175. We are almost there. We're almost there for the bonus half hour. We've got 23 minutes to go to basically get to $50, putting it at 275. Well, no, it would be 300 would be the actual 3/4 because it's a $400. So we have 22 minutes. If we can do $75, we will have hit 3/4. We will stay for another half hour, do more questions, more comments, and all we'll do more of the stuff. So let's go.
Another one.
Reconquista says one of the Catholic martyrs in Mexico from the Calles government said before he died, "Please don't shoot," but they shot him. This doesn't sound remotely close to any Orthodox martyr. Yeah, most martyrs don't say "don't shoot." They say "God bless you." Y'all pray for Cleve. The man has gone full throttle into world orthodoxy.
Oh yeah. Did you see who he had on?
No.
What is gonna have on?
No.
Father John.
Father John Whiteford?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's already had some yahoos on there. It's like, oh wow.
I mean, the point is, I think he's trying to find the highest knowledge level guy.
Wrong one.
Well, I mean the highest level guy in world orthodoxy because there's their information is so weak. that really Father John is like their golden
Well,
relay.
if you want to spin doctor for history, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, most of them can't even put together a history without sounding like trained seals. Let's see. Ortho just asked, anyone keep up with CTA? Any bashing of TO yet? LOL. No, there hasn't been bashing. The last time, so he did stuff with Dr. Deacon Ananias too. Yes, he did. DTC, and I have video of that. So let me see if I can find it. Give me a second.
His voice was less squeaky on that one, so he must have had a better mic.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, because Ortho Pirate, our Ortho Pirate, was give me a second. He actually asked a question on that stream, which I was going to play, and I haven't gotten a chance to yet. So let's do that because it was interesting. Because Father Dr. Ananias Sorum really can't stand us, and so
he sidestepped it.
He did it so neatly. Let me just share. Hold on. Present or invite, share, and
I think I heard another one.
I think we maybe.
Someone dinged.
Hold on.
Orthopirate, $5 US. How did Ben reconcile the problems that World Orthodox? I hate when people use that term. Do you know what this guy's talking about? Let's see if you can anticipate. Before I read the rest of the question, let's see if Ben can anticipate where this question's going.
Sure. Yeah, it's a true. How did I determine between World Orthodoxy and true Orthodoxy? I mean, I can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to disparage any true Orthodox. I have a lot of friends that are true Orthodox. I have people that I respect.
Man. The deacon cringe when he said that.
Orthodox, so this is not an attack.
Yeah, he looks so upset. It's hilarious.
People who belong to that particular community. But this is what I'll say. If you were to look at one of the big gripes that they have, and some of the gripes they have are valid in practice. Like, this person shouldn't do this. This person shouldn't do this. This person shouldn't have said this. Ecumenism is not great. All of those are valid concerns. I think from the canonical standpoint, this is ultimately one of the things that I've thought through. If you were to look at the 1984 Rocor anathemas against ecumenism, look at the document very carefully. This is one of their big, points against World Orthodoxy would be, you look at the 1984 Rocor anathemas against ecumenism, and they would say, oh, well, this actually applies to you since the MP, is connected to the World Council of Churches, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you were to look at what happened in the reunification documents, they actually say a condition of reunification was to undo the former anathemas when they were separated from the MP. So if that is the case, even from a canonical standpoint, those anathemas don't necessarily apply to Rocor and so on and so forth. And you can actually see this if you saw the interview. A lot of them play this interview where it's a metropolitan.
Look, I said he was kind. I didn't say it was consistent.
Anathemas, and he's talking about, oh, well, if they were still in place, this would take place, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of that conversation, this part's typically cut out in some of the clips I've seen. He clarifies and he says, but in the reunification documents, those anathemas were lifted. So even canonically, from a canonical standpoint, there's nothing canonically that would stop you from joining the church and simply fighting from within to try to push back on ecumenism. That would be my encouragement to anyone that is a part of the true Orthodox groups out there. Join us, fight from within. I'll be
been there, done that.
And if you want to reach out,
we tried that.
Absolutely,
that part
nothing
of that
but
movie.
Respect and love.
Bad
Obviously,
ending.
I just wanted to present that little piece there from a canonical perspective. There really doesn't seem to be anything that would stop you from doing so, other than maybe you're looking at like patristic citations that say, flee a heretical bishop, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
But from a canon's perspective,
that is a canon's perspective.
Not really.
Okay, so that was, as I said, I appreciated his tone because he was very kind towards us, and that was really cool.
But you can tell he's an inquirer.
His arguments made no sense.
Oh,
True Orthodox Inquirer says Father Ananias is not niche. Yeah, I guess no. I'm not sure. Then he says Cleve ain't even Orthodox. Talking about join us. Yeah. Or the pirate says I think he's gone.
Oh, I didn't say niche. I said cringe.
Oh yeah, we said cringe, not niche. Any updates on St. Alexis's Cathedral? Glad you asked. Since I actually passed by there last night, I did not see any change other than what we talked about last week with the mosaic being taken down. So let me see here. Okay, because something happened here while I was gone. Where is it? And so I'm looking for, am I missing stuff? Sideways, Sidewinder, Yo-Yo, turning away late. Rewind. Okay, no problem. Welcome.
I know to
Father, I
relook
think we
at
should chain ourselves to the church. I don't think that's a good idea. Historically, people have chained themselves to buildings, either end up under them or end up in jail. So,
yeah.
Let me see here because I heard a ding and now I'm trying to find the ding, and it looks like okay. MC Cash App sends $50 for the car. Thank you so much. Boom. We're so close.
So close.
We are now at $275 of the target.
$25 away, guys.
$25 in the next 15 minutes will keep us on for another half hour, and we will have achieved 3/4 of the target.
Thank you, guys.
We are now at 275 to 125.
Another one.
Let me just put an MC for $50. Boom.
Boom.
Bada bing. This is where we're at now. This is awesome.
Thank you.
We're so close. And thank you for everyone who's donating. We really appreciate it. Because it's kind of crazy.
I need to redress the unification documents. I haven't read those in a while, but I'm pretty sure I didn't read what he was reading.
Yeah, this was interesting. Black Light says Father Deacon didn't like his response, it seems. Address TL like they're humans and not subhuman spawns from hell. Exactly. And we respect that, but it was fun to watch him squirm as Cleve sounded more like what's the word I'm looking for? Christian than
thank you, Ortho Pirate. That was beautiful. I'm glad you did that.
And thank you also for helping keep the lights on. Yeah, it's sad OCA treats churches with such disdain. We're gonna follow this more. I'm trying to check it every day, but it was a hellish week. So the last check I did, there was Tuesday and then yesterday on Saturday. Catherine says, I wonder how many people will look up True Orthodox now from them talking about it. CTA hasn't been told True Orthodox is to be ignored and never spoken of. Exactly. Now he probably got that lecture
after the stream.
yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully they were just like, maybe they'll forget.
Well, he's gonna have Father John Whiteford on. I'm sure it's gonna be beaten into that.
Yeah, this one's gonna be more the here is why definitively the True Orthodox are wrong, except it's the same old stuff that we've argued. Or the Pirate says, I think personally well-crafted questions, I'm being serious, LOL, for his streams would be beneficial for his audience. It might reveal the inconsistencies for the more ignorant. That is a very good question. And I think in the case of, if we do that, he's having Father John on, I think fun questions would be, what was the New Calendar Church in Greece like in the 1970s? Because you had the post-junta and the pre-junta bishops. I'd love to throw out questions about interfaith services that Patriarch Kirill, even when he was Metropolitan, was forced to hold or is holding.
When he was a Metropolitan of Smolensk, right?
Yeah, he was he was the original. He was the previous, official ecumenist for the MP. So the point is, ask questions based on that and things that are also especially Russia relative, because they kind of force the question like, why weren't the Catacomb Church, the real bishops? Just ridiculous. There's so much you can go with.
And don't bring up Rokor and Russia in the 1990s, or else you'll.
Yeah. Now, Rec Conquista says Black Earth Acolyte says that's true. A new convert was more charitable than Deacon. I believe you mean it's Father Dr. Deacon. So let me see. You can see the seed in Father Deacon's eyes every time he gets too aggressive. Yeah, it's like, I hate when they use the words World Orthodox.
Did that vein in his forehead twitch?
Yeah, that was funny. Spurgy, lover of Father John, LOL. Ortho Pirate, how about that silly 1918 anathema against the Soviets? Yeah, that's a good one. Reconquista, there's a symbol there. Were there stained glass windows in pre-schism Western Church? Yes, but they weren't as heavily decorated. That's really more of a later thing. So you'll find that they had windows that would have colors on them, but not necessarily that they'd have whole like images and stuff. Wait a second.
Ding ding. Another one.
I'm checking.
You guys just want me to say another one.
Wait. Boom. Oh, no. Oh, MC with generosity takes it over the top. And Black Ortho Acolyte, $40 have come in the past 5 minutes. Give me a moment.
Wow. Okay, now we got to do math.
Yeah, Matt, the math is hard, guys.
275 plus 40 is 315.
Yeah, but I got to put the people on as well. So
All right.
I have to update the people.
Okay.
So the good news is they're both there. So I can just update BOA from 20 to 30. And then I can update MC from 50 to 80. Thank you so much for your generosity, MC. And thank you all. This is really amazing. Okay, so 270. You said it was 315.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that leaves the goal at 85. $85. But we are
you
now
did say 40, right, Father?
Yeah, 40.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this means that we have made it. I'll even let out one victory thing for it, but we have made it to where we will go to 11 because we have broken the 3/4 mark, and now the goal is just $85 left. So,
well, winning.
Do I have to add your winning thing at the end? I feel like I need to redo the sound now. So,
I just got to be on here. Winning.
Okay, so we've done it. We're 3/4 of the way through. We will be going till 11 o'clock, and let's continue and answering questions. Let's see. Okay, so Black Ortho Acolyte says another one. Have any of the Orthodox priests from jurisdictions in Metropolia is not a community that acknowledge or encourage the work you are doing? How about their bishop? I'll just say this: nothing officially. We try to maintain friendly relations with other Orthodox, and I think that to some degree that's starting to happen a little bit, but nothing I can talk about or would feel comfortable putting anyone on the spot over.
I have noticed from a distance that there are warm relations between your first hierarch and our first hierarch. So.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen over time.
Yeah.
You know, someday we just need to get the bishops all together that are in the New York area and just have them all eat at a Chinese buffet. That is the way this will end.
That sounds delightful.
Everybody, no matter what your fasting level, will find something at the Chinese buffet.
Unless you're a Matthewite. Sorry, guys.
All right. So is the silly 1918 anathema the anti-Bolshevik one? Yes, it is. Another one. Yes. 143 watchers on X new record. It's actually 146 right now. We are having a total watching of 182. So last week we got to like 130. Now we're getting close to 200. So this is awesome. We got to keep on going.
They're hearing the clarion call of true orthodoxy.
John MC, the Reverend Dr. Deacon Father Ananias. Yep, that's basically his title. Money. John, thank you for your donation as well, John. Don't Theodola says the sound. Exactly. We got to the sound, and Ortho Pirate with a member chat. Remember, if you want your chats on the screen, but you don't want to do a super chat, you can always become a member on YouTube. So please do that if you want to do that. I haven't figured out members on X yet. We see John Wilkes Truth because he put up an X chat, and because obviously
John Wilkes Truth. That's hilarious.
We're new at X, so we are putting up the X chats until I figure out how to monetize those. He says, yo, tuning way late. We'll watch rewatch the whole stream on my way to work tomorrow. Awesome.
I like that name. That was an awesome name, John Wilkes.
John Wilkes. He's a very interesting account on X. If you haven't followed him, you should. He's pretty interesting.
Just keep him away from anybody named Lincoln. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see. LOL's laughter. Denise with a member chat. It is happy star things and stuff. Okay.
It's from Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's from Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. Recon Keystone says if you can make it, you play Ted DiBiase's theme song. I don't even know who that. That sounds so familiar. What is the Ted DiBiase? I think it's pro wrestling. Give me a moment. I feel like it's pro wrestling. Hold on. Because that sounds like an 80s pro wrestler. Ted DiBiase theme song.
Recon Keystone to pull out these things.
This is the $1 Million Man. Is it the $1 Million Man entrance video? That's what it seems to be.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we don't want to give the impression that we're not actually desperate and needing money for like things. I don't want to look like, hey man, I'm flashing it. No, we're not. This is how we survive.
At least you're not playing Lil Wayne or something like that.
Yeah. Ortho John says Black Ortho has a TOGC journey going. Some hiccups, mission wraith. Okay, they're writing to each other. True Orthodox Inquirer, I'm being pressured by my World Orthodox priest and dad to leave the TO, but they have non-fallacious arguments. LOL. Yeah, I'm sorry. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Daniel Langlois asks, where did the old believers get their 2-finger sign of the cross, and why were the Greeks doing the 3-finger sign of the cross? How does this difference evolve? Well, this is interesting. Russia developed the 2-finger sign of the cross for the same reasons as the 3-finger sign of the cross. So it's still God and man and Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But the 3-finger sign of the cross, it's the exact same meaning, just with different fingers.
Just inverse.
But what happened was the Pope and the Western Church, the Roman Catholic Church, to some degree had preserved the 3-finger sign of the cross, but it began to slowly disappear in favor of the palm. However, in official meetings, and they would bring up things like Innocent III, the 3-finger right to left sign of the cross was retained. And so the Greeks had still retained the 3-finger sign of the cross. In Russia, the cross had changed, but had the exact same meaning. So after the Council of Florence, when the Greeks and Russians were trying to fix things until it got to the Council of 1484, the Russians actually did accuse Greeks of using the Latin sign of the cross, when in fact it was just the original sign of the cross. And by the time that was taken care of, when we get to the old believers, Roman Catholics were just slapping themselves.
Was it a translation issue when Kirill and Methodius translated?
It might have been. I haven't researched that
I'll have to look
really
at that.
well. I know like the basic facts of that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So are you an Orthodox nationalist, Father? I believe that Orthodoxy should have countries. So I would say that to some degree I could consider myself nationalist. I'm more than a civic nationalist, but I'm not a blood and soil nationalist completely. I believe in the American
That's a loaded
ideals.
word.
Yeah, I believe, well, that's a problem though, because I believe in the American ideals, but I also believe that America has founding stock. I believe that America was originally, for all intents and purposes, European. I don't think that's, and then of course you have African Americans who were there from the beginning because of slavery. I mean, the point is, even if we were just to take the white folks and the black folks, you could still say that there's a whole lot that they have in common that you could identify as American.
I would have a clarification. Do you mean like patriotic nationalist, or do you mean supremacist nationalist?
No, I mean patriotic.
No, not you, Father. The person asking the question.
Well, it's a hard question to add. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Ortho Justice from Icons, Black Ortho, good to hear. Sing Semper Tyrannis. Very true. Ortho Just, thank you. See, more than I knew. The sign of the cross is a Christological statement. Christ with his 2 natures is on the cross, not the Trinity. Okay, but I understand that. But okay, so what you're saying is that basically the 2-finger sign of the cross would be wrong because it I guess you would say that the Trinity is touching. I guess I would say that's probably. I'd say that's.
I'd say that's overly scrupulous.
Yeah, because I mean we do that too. The problem is both of them are touching with the Trinity. So, yeah.
It's what you ascribe to the fingers, to be honest.
Yeah. Civic nationalism is so gay. All right, thank you for that. So let's get back to here again. We have now passed the 3/4 mark. So even though it is 10:29 Eastern, it is actually the beginning of the 3rd hour. We now have another half hour to go, so we can answer questions, take comments, look for challenges.
Or you can click the link and get up here.
Yeah, click the link and jump on. You can jump on from X, from Odyssey, or from YouTube. Ortho just says, yes, the 3 touched the nose pretty much. No.
Who's touching what nose?
I think what he means is that he's thinking they do the sign of the cross like this, which they don't.
Well, don't pick your nose.
Yeah, this is that looks like a Monty Python sign of the cross. No, you have to touch the forehead.
Touch your forehead. Don't pick your nose.
Yeah, those are still useful. Don't pick your nose. Not while you're doing the sign of the cross, especially. But anyway, Benjamin Franklin was right about the Jews. He was also part of the Hellfire Club. Yeah, probably. I mean,
He also had his own state for a while.
What?
The state of Franklin.
He had his own state. Okay.
Yeah, it was part of East Tennessee and Western North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ortho Pirate says he's talking about the gesture, not the hand formation. Yes. But once we got the nose involved, I got confused because where are we touching nose? I didn't see that. Tode Adola says Benjamin Franklin was a Jew. This sounds like a fight. So I'm not getting into it. All right, so let's see here. Again, if you have questions or comments, if you want to jump on the stream to ask a question or make a comment, just click the link in the top of the chat. We are at a record number right now with our X viewership and very high with our YouTube viewership. Look, if you want to jump on, just click the StreamYard link and you can jump on and it'll be cool. And that'll be awesome. I'm gonna admit, I came into this stream feeling really, really down, and I think that that kind of showed in the beginning.
Yeah.
I owe it to all of you. I owe it to all of you guys, and it's not just about the donations, but just all you participating. I really want to just say thanks. It's been a really, really hard week, and I'm glad that I came back on.
Glory to God.
Here. Denise with a member chat says a Freemason, and okay, no, that's not a. It's not a
Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin is Jewish. What?
Benjamin.
Freemasons and Jews are Freemasons, the better of two evils. I think they're kind of related. I read Benjamin Franklin was warning Americans not to let the Jew take. Oh, I've never read this. Daniel York says, "Do you know how Dyer rose to fame?" I have no idea. I mean, he had already had a large following.
Verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how he rose to fame. People thought he was smart.
Yeah, and he would basically say a lot of the stuff you could read on the Vigilant Citizens blog. So yeah.
Didn't he have like books or something, like something with Babylon in it? Or, I don't know. He has some like conspiracy books or something back in the day.
Yeah, he has books. Books. Black with the Wacklight says, "Glad you're feeling better, Father Joseph. We go nuts for Jonas." Father Jonas. Father Jonas.
I forgot.
I forgot that one here. Benjamin is how they pronounce it in Hebrew. Because he got married to a Funko Pop, says Schwarzenegger.
Oh no.
InfoWars, yeah. Well, InfoWars definitely picked up that basically, I think that's as high as he was able to go. Let's see, Monster Stephanie says Unseen Warfare had a very interesting read about Freemasons. Very true. He's very big on this stuff. So if you are a fan of learning that sort of history, I definitely recommend it.
He's very intelligent.
Yeah, he is very intelligent and very knowledgeable.
He makes us look bad.
Well, I mean,
well, at least me, not you.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, he makes me look like a dum dum too. But the point is, I like to, I'm more of a, I don't know what that was. I'm like just like a bouncing monkey. I don't know how to describe myself, but the point is, okay, Reconquista. John MC says Dyer reads a lot and understands much. He impresses 25-year-old illiterates. Jay Dyer, I used to pay him $40 and taught the transcendental argument from Professor Banson, who I believe was a Presbyterian. Black Orthodox guy says, LOL. And Northern Pirate with a member chat says, Jim Dreyer wears sunglasses at night. Okay.
Yeah, Jay Dyer definitely was pushing the tagline.
Let me see. Daniel York says, do you know how to get correct data and find history books that don't promote propaganda? No, because the grand secret is all history books have always been propaganda. You find the truth by going through multiple history texts and determining what the truth was from the aggregate. It's not easy, but it gets easier with time. And more importantly, it also depends on the quality of the sources you're using.
Yeah.
For example, polemics versus encyclopedias. Encyclopedias will always give better information.
I kind of compare different books from pre-20th century sources myself.
That's it. And that's a great way to do it. But I think even all the way up to the 1980s, the encyclopedic sources were not terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
But they have some political.
Unless it was a World Book Encyclopedia, then they went crazy.
Daniel, what part of the country had Jose Marti as your middle school? I would assume that's in Miami. Denise says blessings, Unseen Warfare, and thank you for your help, Denise, as well. For your support of the channel. Ghislaine Maxwell's Mossad daddy owns all the history books. No, he doesn't.
Oh, gross.
We're
not going there, are we?
No. This is kind of silly. There's lots of history books. Etc. Daniel Langley says hi, Aaliyah. Of course, yeah. I'm just guessing it was Miami. Reckon Daniel Stefan Molyneux would say, write your own book. Yeah, I actually read his book, which it has a fatal flaw in it. Daniel York says Europa, and Rick Keith says it's a free market of ideas. John MC says, if you're going to do 6-hour live streams every day, you need to wear sunglasses. I am not doing 6-hour live streams every day, but I do have the sunglasses.
There's a song about sunglasses at night.
They're my wife's. I just have them here for entertainment. Okay, so let me see. Black Earth Acolyte says tag might be the ultimate apologetic, but it just ends up confusing and not convincing normies, in my opinion. Yeah, that's true. By definition, so most people are normies. So yeah, what Reader Joe?
No, just his conclusion, you would end up at morally therapeutic deism versus orthodoxy. So
yeah, you still need a lot more arguments, which tells you that ultimately tag is not complete. And so if it's not complete, it's not a perfect argument. So why start with it again?
Yeah, if you go back to his debates with what's his name, Jonathan Hill from like 10 years ago. Yeah, you'll see his flaws, Jay Dyer's flaws. So
okay, or the pirate says John MC, it's because of that Florida lotto light that sits behind him. LOL. What is this? Rose Dyer Day or something? Daniel Angloy says, I believe you. Dr. Keeson says Corey Hart. Denise puts up sunglasses. Todd Theodulus says the New World Order A. Epperson, Ralph Epperson, written in 1981. Jonathan Hill is a Rocor MP apologist who we have occasional disagreements with, but overall he tries to be as solid in theology as possible and as fighting from within as possible.
Yeah,
and it was just I think it was a week or two ago.
No, I've known him for years. So.
No, I've known him for years too. But he wrote me a week or two ago and said, like, well, maybe you should consider coming out of your schism. And we've had banter over the years, so I didn't care. But I just said, look, I do want to point something out. If everyone you're arguing with is sanctioned by their bishop in World Orthodoxy, like, and you're arguing with them that they're basically deviating from Orthodoxy, when does it become a you problem? Like at the point where everyone you're arguing with, you're in communion with, and in their church, why wouldn't you reconsider that maybe that's not the church?
Yeah, unfortunately, it falls under the line that's been pushed out of Holy Trinity Seminary about the whole calendars being schismatic, even though Rocor was in communion with him for a lot of his time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I want to write a book about how Masonry destroyed Cuba and led from one revolutionary Masonic movement ultimately the communist revolution, says Reconquista. That is a great point.
I'll buy it. That would actually be a really
I'd
good
buy
book.
that book too. Sean 7421 says worst part about tag is that it makes people schizo when they can't talk about anything but tag. How's the weather? The guy too.
Welcome to J Dyer.
You know what weather is? Yeah, exactly. I know, and it does. It's not healthy for conversation.
That's why he falls back into his Roman Catholic apologetic shtick.
Yep. Ortho Pirate says, John MC, are we sure it's not the actual sign? Ouch. John, that came from John MC saying, "Hi, you're exactly right. I can't do that. There was an old gay bar in Greenwich Village, NYC, that had exactly that neon sign."
Yeah.
And then Ortho Pirate said, "Are we sure it's not that actual sign?"
You guys are cold-blooded.
They're roasting Jay Dyer. They're barbecue roasting. They've got him on a spit. Weather is grounded in Jews, Sean. They control it. Just kidding. Okay, I'm glad that you were just kidding. All right, so this is kind of amazing. We are now more than 3/4 of the way to the goal. We have again, we have until 11. If we make it to the goal, we will go another half hour to 11:30. So yeah, John MC says it may well be the actual neon fixture, but 25 years ago that sign was still up there by West 4th and West 12th Streets. I didn't know the village that well. So I mean, I went to school. I went to school in the East Village. It was Stuyvesant High School before they moved it to where the Twin Towers were. It was actually in Greenwich Village. And so that was let me see here. Ortho Adjust says, please post the TO map again, please, Father. Do you need the there's two of them. The first one is the larger map, and that's this one, and I will post a link in the chat.
Are there still the older ones?
Yeah, and then there's the other one that has 4 or 5 other things, and it's flawed. Do not ever call Palestinian Orthodox Church Ramsey Musalam as a scammer. So that's
wow. I didn't know that was on there.
Yeah, so when they put him in under our synod, I'm like, what? No. He's not part of us.
That's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So anyway, yeah. So that's where we stand. We've got the maps up. So John MC says, I lived there. I knew every nook and cranny of Lower Manhattan. I did not live there. I lived in Brooklyn, and I went to school there. And so let me see here. Denise says, Unseen is already doing that, right? I'm going to book about it all. About the takeover of Cuba? So
really?
That could be. I don't.
He does everything.
Daniel Langlois asks, Father, what's your opinion on Seraphim Hamilton? I think he is a nice young man. He's very smart. He's read his stuff. But I mean, he will stick to the New Calendar Party line, and because of that, it makes your apologetic become less clean and solid. And
did he land into the New Calendar, or did he go to the Catholics?
Huh?
I said, did he land into the New Calendars, or did he go to the Catholics? I remember way back when he was kind of bouncing between everything.
I thought he was just a New Calendarist. I would be horrified if he joined the Catholic. I mean, granted, technically they're not too far off, but
yeah.
So
I don't know. I just remember reading his arguments back in the day. I was like, wow, that sounds kind of papist. Wow.
Well, this is crazy. But yeah. So I would say my opinion on him is kind of it's a mixed bag. I think he means well, and I think he's a good kid. But again, when you have unsound teaching mixed in with sound teaching, it just makes it worse. Unseen Warfare has amazing posts he shares on his YouTube channel. If people aren't following, they need to be. I agree 100%. People should follow Unseen Warfare. They should follow everybody who is on my channel. Yeah. Everybody on my channel, I have like something, I don't know how many, dozens of YouTube channels to follow. If you follow all the YouTube channels I followed, you would see the True Orthodox world much more functionally than it is now.
Yeah.
Just noticed in Woke BC, Canada, there are no True Orthodox churches. Regretfully doesn't surprise me. I think that might be wrong. I'm pretty sure there are British Columbia True Orthodox churches. I'd have to look. What's the position on Freemason? What do you mean? Neurojack asks, what's the position on Freemason? Freemasons are a weird secret society that have been behind a lot of horrible things throughout the earth.
They're not allowed in Orthodoxy.
Yeah, it's anathema. About the outreach of Freemasonry and its effects thereof. People who join are anathematized. It's anathema.
They should be.
Yeah. Let me see. Reconquista, Denise, about Cuba. Well, my ending is the only way out is an ortho conversion as Catholics are too weak and gay. I agree, and I think a Cuba book would still be good by itself. So go for it.
Just to put a bow on the Sir from Hamilton thing, if you mix honey and poison, then it kind of counters it. I mean, you can't have it with poison in it. So I just avoid them, to be honest.
Denise, let me see. Unseen Warfare is amazing, says True Orthodox Inquirer. Daniel York, was Yuri Bezmenov an asset? I would say yes for multiple parties. But did he realize his errors on communism, or did he realize it was horrible and not a good thing? Yeah, he did. I just don't know. I don't know how useful he was as an asset because unfortunately the communists still successfully took over. Ortho Adjust says, to the duelist closest to you would be with us in Edmonton. Yes, there are true Orthodox in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Ortho Adjust says, would BC doesn't have any from what I understand. You got to come to Alberta. Okay. I'm not sure. I know in Toronto there is a few. I don't know. I think there is a priest in that far western Canada, but I may be wrong.
I think I know is in Edmonton and myself. That's all I know. And Vancouver's in BC, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna check. I want to check the less popular map because I am curious. Okay, that lists our Edmonton parish. What is this? It does not list our. Hold on a second. Because I think that might be. Let me see here. Let me just see where this is. What's Bridgetown? Bridgetown is. Where is that? Let me try. Because I see one in Bridgetown, Nova Scotia.
Oh, that's on the East Coast.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's the wrong side of Canada. Okay, so there's nothing in the I guess this region, British Columbia. God willing. Okay, well, there is one in Vancouver, Rosie or Rocorv in Vancouver. Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
British Columbia. Yeah.
True Orthodox says, Inquirer says, Masonic lodges are established all over the world to help us achieve our independence. Those pigs, the non-Jewish Masons, will never understand the final objects of Masonry. And that's a quote from Theodore Herzl, allegedly. Okay. Resurrecting Adam, a World Orthodox priest on World Roots of Orthodoxy, Short said, God wants people works through vaccines, though. Sorry if I'm behind on the stream, huh? No, not a problem.
Do what?
We are just $85 away from making the whole total and getting to another half hour if we can make it. But what that World Orthodox priest said sounds demented. Reconquista says, Father, for real, either father or for real. One question I have is why were the Rothschilds opposed to slavery? And the only conclusion is that they could bankrupt agrarian slave societies and eventually put them on credit. I would say that's possible. That's possible. John MC says Bezmenov was an asset. Sure sign. He gave extensive lecture to Elizabeth Clare Prophets Group. Sean says, I'm in Edmonton. Our church is awesome here. That's way east. That's way east. Yeah. Okay. Might be moving to Edmonton if they break off Canada. Yup. Heck yeah. Come join us to the Dulles. What is the Church of the Holy Transfiguration in Woodstock? That is our church. That's my Synods church. We've had it for many, many years. It's over 100 years old. It is a small Western Rite True Orthodox missionary church. It was maintained by Father Deacon John Nelson until he reposed a few years ago, and now it is maintained by Father Deacon Vincent Dershowitz, and he is there, I believe. I want to say he's there weekly, or it could be bi-weekly, but the point is, they still have services there. There's reader services with communion because he is the deacon. And there's talk of possibly one day they're getting a priest back there. But yeah, that's ours. It's a beautiful church, and if you show that to your if you show this what here, actually for fun, I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Give me 1 second. And why would Father Joseph want to put this on the screen? Well, I'm going to show you because let's see if I can find. Oh, that's so funny.
Man, we're so close to
what's
the goal.
This? What is this? When you go to the Holy Transfiguration Church thing on TripAdvisor, it actually shows, and there's so many common threads here. It's so funny. It actually shows a picture of the Buddhist monastery, which is right next to them, which Father John had actually fought with them constantly over their respective bells. This was a thing until he finally passed away. And then ironically, like one of my favorite chefs I watch on YouTube went to that Buddhist monastery, and I thought to myself, that's pretty funny that Father John was, just trying to shoo away. These people had money. I don't know if it's Chinese or it is Tibetan or whatever, but they built a massive, massive structure. And it's huge. And so there's this tiny church next to it, which happened to also, while he was alive, get on the Register of Historic Places. So despite their great dreams of one day that church going away and they getting that land, instead, we have become a permanent kind of thumb in the eye of a large Buddhist monastery.
I remember that scene from Anger Management about the Buddhist monastery.
It's just different. It's different. I don't know. Okay, here's a good pick. I'm gonna share this one. Let me go here. This is the root screen that is at Holy Transfiguration. So let me show that real quick. This is the general state of the root screen. As you can see, it kind of looks like it actually looks closer to an iconostas than a lot of other ones. But those two doors on opposite sides of the main royal doors are actually choir doors. So there are
original?
separate. What?
Is that original?
What do you mean?
The root screen. You said that's 100-year-old building, right?
Oh yeah, no. I want to say Bishop William Francis Brothers bought that around 1930. So it's older than 100 years old, but it is actually approaching our 100th anniversary that we can trace to ourselves. Okay. Before that, it was some kind of congregational church. So all this stuff was added decades ago.
I got you.
But the point is, this would probably send your average Anglo-Yokean Western writer into a fit of apoplexy.
Oh, that's okay. We like that.
So, Daniel York says, was it used by hippies? Unfortunately, yes. It's part of its history. Father Brothers, or Bishop William Francis Brothers, was a big fan of trying to convert hippies, and so hippies spent a lot of time there. And I think Father John was actually a former hippie who then became Orthodox.
Yeah, man.
It was I loved Father John, but yeah, he was kind of like that. But he was doing, he also did cool, there's nothing wrong with hippies being like, yeah, man, they're peaceful hippies are just happy villagers. Dudley says Toronto is the center of wokeness. Yeah, I couldn't live there. That's the truth. Gotta just go to Greece. Okay, we have people plotting in the chat to move to Greece. Dudley says live there for some 30 years, going the same direction as the West.
Greece has its own problems.
Best place to live is in the mountains. Yeah, I hear that. How is Cyprus? Okay, this is good. So we are now in the final 7 minutes of the broadcast, unless $85 can appear. If not, we are so grateful regardless. But one way or another, it all depends on whether you want to hear me rambling on for another half hour. And so I can get when it's time for me to go. It's okay. I'm not sad.
Lock the doors, lock the windows.
Lock the doors. Lock the doors. Lock the doors. Oh man, that was crazy. That guy was crazy. All right, so again, we want to hit $85 to hit the goal, and we're at 10:54, 6 minutes to go. I'm fairly certain, without someone just instantly doing it, it probably isn't going to happen tonight, and that's okay because we did hit 3/4 of the goal, which is fantastic. Again, thank you, because my car is going to need it. Hide your kids and hide your wife. Was that part of that? Because I thought he just was like, lock the doors. And stuff. Hide your kids and
hide your kids, hide your wife.
Tode Dos says, I don't know how the faith is there, but a lot of the newer generations in Greece are agnostic or atheist. What's happening is that a lot of the newer generations in Greece are actually split. And so, a family will have a couple of atheists, whereas it'll have 3 or 4 Orthodox Christians as well. So even though the numbers are still going up, it looks negative because we're dealing with larger proportions.
Well, they're still dealing with the history that happened in the 1970s a lot, especially in Athens. So.
Daniel says, so this root screen is not pre-schism. This root screen is actually based on pre-schism design, but considering the church itself, I believe, was built in 1875, I can safely say it was never pre-schism.
I don't think there's anything pre-schism here.
It is a pre-schism style, and you'll notice that by noticing the kind of like the arches that are on the top, like these little fleur-de-lis, and then there's a big, gigantic, colorful cross. You can't totally see it because of the chandelier, but there's a big, flat, beautiful cross icon there. That's wonderful. Let me see here. John MC says, what is the most conservative region of Greece? The Peloponnesus? I'm not sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of conservative regions in Greece.
I mean, there's little suburbs within bigger areas that are not so conservative. It's kind of mixed.
Yeah, it is. So
I've been there quite a lot. So.
Glory to God, it was. It is mixed, but I see people going back to tradition, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be work. Okay. Let me see here.
Check out the island of Chios. That's what I would say.
I am checking here. My friend is a Christian but wants to marry a Jewish girl. How do I stop him from marrying this woman as she wants to convert him?
Don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. There's the simple reality is just tell him not to do it. It's wrong.
Tell him to try matzah. If he likes it, then there's something wrong with him.
Oof. Tell him to try some Manischewitz.
Eat some gefilte fish.
If you can handle these, you can handle Jew. Okay, that's right. Yeah, convert the girl. But
Chewy.
Chewy. Anyway, all right. So we are now. I think we're getting down to closing down. We're in the final 180 seconds of the show. So I will take that down. And that's fine. I don't mind. Give me a moment. And let me just go back to this.
Yeah, mixed marriages are hard, and they really never work out.
They almost never work out.
Yeah.
Even regular marriage is hard. So it's just asking, unless he's willing to sacrifice even Christ. I mean, I hate to say that. Sadly, he'll be betraying Christ like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. Or the pirate said, no, another one?
Another one. Nope, no another one.
Yeah, that's fine. It happens sometimes. And of course, give me 1 second. Let me see here. Just gotta stop sharing that. So we are going to count today as a 3/4 success, which means we didn't make it, but that's okay. But we didn't make it to hear the sound again. Instead, we have to play the other sound.
Oh, man.
For those who missed it. All right, everyone.
No winning.
No winning today. No winning. Good night, everyone. LOL. Yep. Thank you to everyone. To Father Boniface, to you, Reader John, for coming. Thanks to Bay Area for visiting and having questions. Thanks to our listeners, to those with questions and have comments, and those who support our mission. Thank you so much for getting us where we did. Support the channel. We at NFTU need your help. Support us by subscribing or donating at nftu.net or on Give Send Go. We remember all of you in our prayers, and thank you for the support for NFTU. As always, please like and subscribe, and may God bless you in the name of the Father, and the Holy Spirit. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk soon. I'm not sure what we'll do in the week, but I'll keep you posted. Night, everyone. The stream was too small. The stream was 2.5 hours. I thought it was pretty good. Okay, I'm going.